Tonight, we are looking through millions of pages of documents about the late financier and sexual abuser Jeffrey Epstein, the newest to be released from the Department of Justice. Correspondent David Spunt tells us what we're learning from the new information. Good evening, David.
Brett, good evening. More than 3 million documents are still being posted right now over the past 6 hours on the Justice Department's website. The new drop includes more than 2,000 videos, 180,000 images. Many of the pages are completely redacted. The majority of the videos contain commercial pornography. Other pages include famous names like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Steve Bannon. Again, we've not seen any evidence that any of them did anything criminal. Context, Brett, is key, but there's not a lot of context, unfortunately, in the document release. Today's release includes numerous mentions of the name Donald Trump, the president. He's mentioned in several uncorroborated tips with allegations he was involved in sexual acts involving minors. It's important to point out many of these cases are secondhand allegations that the FBI was never able to completely investigate because those making the allegations didn't follow through with investigators. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche had this response just hours ago to critics' claims that he, the president's former personal attorney, is protecting his former client. Watch.
We did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody. I mean, I think that there's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents. And there's nothing I can do about that.
Last month's release included multiple mentions of former President Bill Clinton in social situations with Jeffrey Epstein and unidentified young women. Clinton, through a spokesperson, denies anything illegal. President Trump also has denied any wrongdoing, frequently bringing up that he kicked Epstein out of his club in South Florida and cut off all ties in the early 2000s. The documents today were released more than a month after the official deadline signed into law by the president. Deputy Attorney General Blanche says the department just couldn't meet the original deadline because of the redactions needed to protect victim information. Mr. Blanche says it's possible more information will be made public if judges order more to be released, but he says this is all DOJ can release at the moment. The Epstein survivors, in a statement, Brett, said this is not going away, and they look forward to Attorney General Pam Bondi testifying before Congress next month.
Well, there are a lot in there in the new dump of Epstein files, documents today. The release today, more than 3 million pages of documents, more than 2,000 videos, 180,000 images. A lot of criticism about the process here, what is out, what's not, what was pulled back. There are mentions of Donald Trump in these new documents, allegations. And the DOJ pointing out that they are not proven and put a note there.
The Justice Department today dropped more than 3 million more pages from the Jeffrey Epstein files. Our team is diligently going through the material, which includes thousands of videos and images. Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has the latest details.
Tonight, the Justice Department releasing more than 3 million pages of documents from the FBI's investigation into sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche declaring they have now fully complied with the law.
Today's release marks the end of a very comprehensive document identification and review process to ensure transparency to the American people.
In a letter to Congress, Blanche and Attorney General Pam Bondi acknowledge approximately 200,000 pages have been redacted or withheld based on various privileges. DOJ says they're withholding nearly 3 million other documents for various reasons, including victim privacy, because they contain images of child sexual abuse. And critics point out today's release comes 40 days after DOJ was required by law to hand over the files. I asked the Deputy Attorney General, who used to be President Trump's personal lawyer, whether all material related to the president had been released. Trump and Epstein were friends in the 1990s.
Can you assure the American public that President Trump, like every other prominent person whose name came up in relation to the Epstein files, that all documents, photos, and anything relevant to him connected to the case are being released?
I mean, yes, I can assure that we complied with the statute, we complied with the act, and there is no, we did not protect President Trump, we didn't protect or not protect anybody.
President Trump's name comes up thousands of times, mostly in news articles, but also in emails written by Epstein himself. Blanche today telling Fox News, in none of these communications, even when he's doing his best to disparage President Trump, Did Epstein suggest President Trump had done anything criminal or had any inappropriate contact with any of his victims? The documents released today include records of unverified tips to investigators, including some uncorroborated information pertaining to President Trump, former President Clinton, and other high-profile individuals. Trump and Clinton have both denied any wrongdoing and any knowledge of Epstein's crimes. And the Justice Department said the tips led nowhere. The Deputy Attorney General insisting a review of the files did not uncover evidence anyone else should be charged with crimes.
I don't think that the public or you all are going to uncover men within the Epstein files that abuse women, unfortunately.
Today's release did offer evidence of Epstein's relationships with the rich and powerful, including Elon Musk. In a number of emails, Musk and Epstein seemed to be discussing plans for Musk to visit Epstein's private island in the Caribbean. In one 2012 email, Musk asking, "What day-night will be the wildest party on your island?" Musk says he never went to the island. The files released today indicate President Trump's current Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, apparently did plan a visit to Epstein's island. The men were neighbors in Manhattan. Lutnick recently said that in 2005, he decided he did not want anything to do with Epstein.
My wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. Really? So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
But the newly released documents indicate that 7 years later, when Lutnick was visiting the Caribbean with his wife and other friends and family, he apparently emailed looking to set up a dinner on Epstein's island, writing, "Does Sunday evening sound good?" A few days later, Epstein's assistant sending Lutnick this message, "Jeffrey wished me to pass along the below to you. Nice seeing you." Tonight, a group of Epstein survivors releasing this statement. The release of Jeffrey Epstein's files is being sold as transparency, but what it actually does is expose survivors. Once again, survivors are having their names and identifying information exposed, while the men who abuse us remain hidden and protected. That is outrageous. As survivors, we should never be the ones named, scrutinized, re-traumatized, while Epstein's enablers continue to benefit from secrecy. This is a betrayal of the very people this process is supposed to serve.